Yeah, I think this is my probably hot take. It's good for short-term clicks. Oh, we've got 500 overtakes, but in the long term, no, like people might watch one race and then go, yeah, no, not this.
Yeah, but
Right,
no.
Yeah,
I've just looked up 554. Sorry, I got it a little bit
Where did
wrong.
you
yeah.
find that? Because I haven't actually
554
seen.
overtakes in Misano
But they
race.
haven't made a
Uh,
one. I'm assuming.
oh,
But
I've got it.
what I'm saying is that Formula E haven't made a big song and dance about it, and they did for Monaco, and I just think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, surely they've learnt the lesson from Portland that it's not the
Yeah,
right way to go about it.
but it looks like if Silverstone is to be believed, then we're going to have more and more race circuits on the calendar, and we're going to potentially see more and more Peloton style
Yeah,
races, unless Gen 3 Evo is, even though it looks like the car's gone on a diet, unless it does
Oh yeah,
completely
no.
change the way that we go racing with the
I
new
mean
powertrains.
We
this could be
barely
a good.
even spoke about Gen 3 Evo, but it looks a lot better.
Yeah, that is true. It does look a lot better. Hopefully, it is a lot better because it needs to be. Um, because I think as it stands, you can click this up if you want. I think Formula E will be dead in about 5 years if it
Oh,
carries on the way it's going.
oh, big statement. Formula E will be dead in 5 years. Why? Explain more.
Well, if and it is an if they carry on with the Peloton style racing, I don't see any growth in terms of people wanting to watch it. People will watch it for one or two races and then they'll stop watching it.
So what don't you like about it so much?
Well, what is there to like about it?
Well, because the counter argument is right, and I'm not saying I agree with the counter argument, but the counter argument is it's chaos, it's fun, it's crazy. You're on the edge of your seat watching it because you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know who's going to win the race, and
Yeah,
and
but
people like
you
that.
can you can say all that, but no one likes okay, yeah, fair enough. You don't know who's going to win the race, but you the first how many laps until they do the sprint. Okay, you don't know who's going to win it, but it's also irrelevant, so you're not paying attention to it because it's pointless. And then
But
when you get to the 2 lap sprint, you know who's going to win it because whoever's got to the front of the thing can't be overtaken now because it's a flat out race.
and then it's the most
So
efficient
then
part.
it's so then it's boring to the point where it's actually racing.
So do you think for Gen 4, right? So when we get to Gen 4, like Gen 4 should be
I
where
I
they get
think
rid
it's
of Peloton style races or altogether and
I
just
think
go.
they should just get rid of Peloton star races
So that
altogether.
means
It's not entertaining.
so I'm just trying to think because I've asked this question. I asked this question to Ian James as well. Like I said, what do you want as a car manufacturer? Like, do you want these high performance races where the races are shorter, or do you want these longer races where range is important, for example? And obviously, we haven't seen attack charge yet, so attack charge could be massive in terms of these Peloton style races and maybe reducing them. So we don't know yet. So it's a big call to say Formula E will be dead in 5 years. I don't think I agree with it. Because I think the sport will change. I don't know if
I
you
think
agree with that,
5 years.
Pico.
I don't think in 5 years, but I have said in
Think
the past it wouldn't surprise me if we're past the halfway point in Formula E's lifespan. But they do need to certainly change it up
yeah,
because I mean the reaction from this style of racing, I'd say, has mostly been negative. So
it's definitely been mostly negative.
yeah, and the there were a few people going, like, "Oh, this is amazing," but that was after Portland, and so
Yeah. So
um, I'm
just
not sure if that died down more now that we've seen like Misano and Sao Paulo and races like that. But
yeah.
yeah,
No.
I can't understand why people find it interesting. Like, okay, this is me myself, but what? Why would you bother watching the first half of the race?
Well, this is what we said. This is what we said
chaos.
after Misano. It's what we said. Like I have to agree with you. Like the first 24 laps, of Misano in the first race, you didn't need to watch them because you just need to watch the final 3 laps. Which I get that argument. And we've got Edison York in chat who says, he doesn't mind. So maybe Edison, we need to get you on, and hey, your counter argument, maybe not tonight because we're nearly finishing, but maybe tomorrow, if you're free to come on tomorrow once Mark Preston's finished, we can continue this debate, because it is a big debate in Formula E, and I look at it more from a technical standpoint. Is like, well, what do we want to show off? Because effectively we're coming to a place, what do we want to show off? And the engineers, and Ian James was right in what he said, is like, well, we could show both. We could show, and very much what Jeff Dodd says, we could show the range and how that's improved, and we could show performance, and it doesn't have to be one or the other. It could be a mix and match, right? Pick a mix if you want. Right?
But why can't you show?
I think for me, range is the most important thing about EVs.
Mm-hmm. That's what I would say.
Constantly, everyone bangs on about, oh, I have to charge it up every 200 mile, and then I have to sit around in a service station for 40 minutes to even charge that up half the way, and that's a lot of the criticism of EVs, and so that's where they need to focus it on.
My point would be, why don't they just focus on the range for the race, and then for qualifying, that's where performance comes in. You can have both. That's where the performance comes in qualifying, and then the range is the race. Why do they need to make it more complicated than that?
Yeah, no.
I think what I've always said about Formula E is they've always looked to have something unique about it. When the uniqueness comes from its electric cars.
Yeah. But
why can't it just be the motorsport for electric cars? Why does it need to have all these different dynamics in it when it can just be simple?
Yeah. I mean, I've said in the past, Gen 3 has just been pointless if tack charts don't come in.
I agree with that totally.
There's just been no point in Gen 3.
Gen 2 was much better.
Yeah,
much better.
Yeah, the thing is, Gen 2 was innovative because we went from having 2 cars a race to 1 car a race. And the big thing about Gen 3 was that we were going to have fast charging pit stops. And that has not materialised 2 years in.
But hopefully it will materialise next season. Which is interesting. Chris, I feel like we needed you to talk to Jeff, because I would really have found this interesting if you asked this to Jeff, to be honest with you, and see what he would have said. So if Jeff...
I would have panicked a little bit if Chris had come on and then his opening line went, you know what, Formula E's dead in 5 years' time.
Maybe.
Can you imagine it?
Yeah, but it's the ongoing debate, and as I said, this is what this show started from, because we've got people in chat, like Case from F1 is here as well, and he's kind of just explaining, he thinks that the Gen 4 battery issue will solve the idea of Peloton style races. So we're not gonna, so to your answer of Formula is going to die, he thinks Gen 4 will fix that problem with batteries.
What I said is, if it carries on with this style of racing, it will. I don't think they will. I don't think they're stupid enough to carry on with it. But my point is, if they've seen these politics, I mean, this is the thing that worries me. If they want to go down the Peloton race, it will be dead. It will.
I see where you're coming from. I truly do, and it's an interesting debate, and I'd love to bring it on. And if people want to talk about the Peloton style once Mark Preston, and maybe we can talk to Mark about the Peloton style, and maybe what he thinks the Gen 3 Evo, because obviously he's making one with Lola, so we can ask him all about the powertrain for next season and the differences and how it affects the cars, because he's the man in the know, and maybe even going into Gen 4, because he'll need to know that too. So I think there's so many questions to ask Mark Preston tomorrow. And if you're a Formula E fan, if you're nerding out about Gen 3 Evo and Gen 4, and you want to find out where the series could progress, Mark Preston is a very intelligent man. I've spoken to him many a time, and I think, tomorrow's show could be really interesting. We'll have our questions, but we obviously want your questions. So if you could all come on and have something prepped for tomorrow, that'd be absolutely amazing. But Chris, we're going to leave it there, right? We'll park the debate there. If you want to come on tomorrow and we'll talk about it afterwards as well, we'll definitely have you on, and we'll try and get the debate going on the Peloton style races and the future of Formula E, and maybe that's what we talk about, is what is the future of Formula E, and people discuss what they think is. But Chris, thank you so much for coming on and giving us your opinion.
Thanks.